Hey friends, I made these delicious flatbread pizzas using a Rhodes bread dough, and I'll show you exactly how I made them. We're going to start by getting a loaf of our bread dough, putting it in a pan with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray. I covered that with some saran wrap. I always like to spray a little bit of that non-stick cooking spray on the saran wrap too so it doesn't stick. And then we're just going to leave that on our counter for 8 hours. Go to work, whatever you need to do, just forget about this on the counter for 8 hours. Now, one of my flatbreads is going to be a chicken bacon ranch, so we're going to cook up that chicken. Now, you could definitely use rotisserie chicken or last night's leftover chicken, but I'm just cooking up a few chicken breasts. I seasoned it with some garlic salt and some red pepper flakes, some red pepper and some seasoned salt. Lots of good seasoning on this chicken because you want it to really carry some flavor on your pizza. And then once that's all cooked, I also cooked up a few strips of bacon. I just cut those with my kitchen shears and fried them up. Now all my toppings are ready and laid out, so let's get this ready. You can see my loaf of bread rose really well over those 8 hours. I'm going to just cut that in half and put it down on a floured surface. You could definitely just push this out with your hands and stretch it, but I do like to use a rolling pin because my family likes these to be nice and thin. This is very similar. I guess you could call it a pizza. I always just call them flatbread pizzas because I'm using a bread dough. It's essentially a pizza, but they're really, really good. I use a non-stick cooking spray on my pan and then I just stretched that dough right out. Now let's get to these toppings. The first one I did was a pepperoni pizza. So use your favorite pizza sauce. I use this Classico. It has a good flavor and I really like a lot of sauce. So I put this on pretty thick. And then even though that sauce is good, I like to season it. So I put a little more garlic salt on top of that sauce. And then from here, I just put on all my toppings. I started with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I like that thinly grated, fresh Parmesan cheese. And then anytime I make a homemade pizza, I love to put very small diced onions on it. It just gives it a nice, fresh, stronger flavor. And then I added some pepperoni. I'm doing this in kind of 2 layers. So I put my pepperoni down before my mozzarella cheese just because I wanted to use up this leftover pepperoni we had, so there was quite a bit of it. And then I used some red peppers and some black olives. Put whatever you want on the pizza, whatever your favorite is. I think mushrooms would be great, jalapenos would be great, sausage, anything that you have that you love on pizza. And then I added that creamy melt mozzarella from Kraft. I really like that as a store-bought shredded cheese. Normally I like to shred my own, but I do like that one. It melts really well. And then I added the remainder of my pepperoni on top and another little sprinkle of that Parmesan cheese. That one's ready for the oven. So let's get our other half of bread dough out, and I just did the same thing. I stretched it and then I rolled it and then I put it on a pan with a little bit of that non-stick cooking spray so it would not stick. Stretched it out on there. Now this one I'm doing barbecue chicken bacon ranch. So we're going to start with some barbecue sauce. Use your favorite, whatever you have. This happens to be a Memphis style, a little bit sweet and a little bit smoky. Now when it comes to the barbecue sauce, I put it on very thin because it is strong. Then I added a little bit of that Parmesan cheese. Onions, of course. I love onions on a chicken bacon ranch pizza. And then I used some sharp cheddar. I think cheddar cheese goes really well with this style of pizza. Again, use your favorite things. Use your favorite cheese, your favorite toppings. Here's our cooked up chicken. And I just put that on quite generously. And then once we had all that chicken on, and I like to space it out all over, then I put the bacon crumbles on. Of course, the bacon's going to give it that nice, salty, smoky taste. Added a little bit of that mozzarella cheese on top. Of course, you can use any kind of cheese you want. And now these are ready for the oven. I baked these at 400 degrees. They took about 20 minutes. I put one on the top shelf and one on the bottom, and then halfway through, I just rotated those around so they'd cook nice and evenly. And then one last thing, while those are cooking, I made some ranch for the top of that pizza. I used some sour cream and this Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning packet, and I love the buttermilk style. It just tastes so much better to me. And then I just stir that around and I put it in a baggie and then just cut the tip off, and I'm going to squeeze that on top of the pizza when it comes out. And now these are ready. They are nice and golden brown after 20 minutes. You can see how delicious that cheese melted on there. Now we're going to take that little baggie full of ranch and we are just going to squeeze it right on top of that chicken bacon ranch pizza. It doesn't have to be pretty, just squeeze it on back and forth. It gives it that nice pop of flavor on top of that flatbread pizza. These were so good. We couldn't decide which one we liked better. It was nice to have the variety. If you have some Rhodes bread dough, try these. They were so good.